Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster's Sunday celebration service. Please join us for our opening song this morning, My Soul is Welcome Here. Welcome back. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service on behalf of Unity of New Westminster Spiritual Community in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Whether you are watching us live on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Zoom, or whether you are watching us on demand after we have recorded live, I do extend a very warm welcome to you. The Unity Movement offers spiritual principles for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way-shower and example. And we honor that there is wisdom in faith traditions all over the planet. We honor every person's right to choose their own spiritual path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. We open our service today in prayer. I gratefully acknowledge that I speak to you on the traditional and unceded territory of the Semiahmoo First Nation. And we give thanks to First Nation peoples everywhere for their custody of this beautiful land. We give thanks that we are able to meet together in this virtual setting at a time when we are unable to meet in person. We give thanks for our connection one with each other. That connection that happens whether we are in each other's physical presence or not. That connection that binds us all together. We acknowledge that there is only one presence, that there is only one power, that power that is understood by many names, many faces, and many paths. And we affirm that regardless of the name, the face, or the path of our understanding, that we are one human family. And it is in that knowledge of our oneness that we send a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment to every being on this planet, to every being, regardless of all the labels that threaten to divide us. We are one. And for this knowledge, for this intention, and for the power that we have to bless, we give thanks. Amen. Our daily word today will be read by a person who has been a member of our community for many years. When we are able to meet in person, he serves as a regular monthly soloist, and he also helps to direct our choir when our choir has presentations and performances. Once a month, we celebrate Birthday Sunday, and he picks up and donates the birthday cake every month. And it's something that we all look forward to enjoying sometime, hopefully soon, in the future. He also organizes and delivers the donations for the food bank from our community. Please welcome my friend, Art Pearson.
Hi, I'm Art Pearson, and I have the daily word for Sunday, March 7th. Celebrating diversity and affirming unity. I am the presence of peace in the world. The road to world peace begins with my open-hearted acceptance of those who are different than me. Our world is vast and diverse, and its people come from a wide variety of cultures and histories. The more I learn about those whose lives differ from mine, the more I can appreciate their perspectives and empathize with their struggles. When I make the decision to understand others, I discover that judgment fades in the light of compassion. Today I sow peace through my acceptance and understanding. Peace in the world grows as I join my brothers and sisters in celebrating the glory of human diversity and affirming oneness in God. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Quote from Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God when I pray. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
In these past few weeks, we've been exploring the idea of transition and change. I'm using the book Finding Yourself in Transition by Robert Brumet as a guideline for this series. And just a quick recap about week 1. We spoke about the idea of changing our relationship to change, recognizing that shift happens, that changes happen whether we want them to or not, and yet it seems silly to us when you think about it, but we are pretty resistant to change most of the time. And so the more that we are able to expect change, perhaps even welcome change, but certainly be in a place of calm when it happens, the more we are able to respond intelligently to change. And so in week 1, the encouragement was to change our relationship to change and become more open to it. In week 2, last week, we spoke about the idea of the hero's journey, viewing change in the framework of the hero's journey, where one has a hero who is enjoying a normal life, and then a shift happens of some kind, and then our hero is taken on a journey in which they shed some of their old understanding of who they are and learn new skills and new awarenesses about who they could be and what they didn't realize that they were capable of. And as part of that journey, then coming to a new beginning. And the invitation of last week's message was to see yourself as the hero in your own journey, and to make a commitment to try and grow through whatever you are going through. And today, what I'd like to do is talk about this idea of endings, to explore endings more. And I begin with this quote by T.S. Eliot. He said, quote, "What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from." End quote. The end is where we start from. That seems to be a bit of a riddle at first glance. But think about it this way. Everything in our world had a beginning. Everything in our world will have an ending. Everything in our world had a beginning. Everything in our world will have an ending. And that may seem sad when we first think about it. The good news is, out of every ending is the potential for a new beginning. We emerge from an ending with a new beginning. At first you may think, no, that's not true. But consider for a moment some of the endings and beginnings that you have experienced personally. The beginning of your first day at school, for example, represents the end of toddlerhood. The beginning of your first day of high school represents the end of childhood and the entryway into teenage years. The beginning of a new job represents the end of unemployment or school, or perhaps the end of another job that you are in. The beginning of a marriage represents the end of a single lifestyle. The beginning of a single lifestyle might represent the end of a marriage or relationship, a partnership. And so it could be due to divorce or separation or death. The beginning of retirement represents the ending of a paid employment. For every beginning, there is some related ending. And yet, if I were to ask you, which do you prefer, beginnings or endings? I'm going to guess that you, like me, will say beginnings. We prefer beginnings. And the reason we prefer beginnings is because they have more excitement, they have more fun. There's this sense of adventure, perhaps, and new possibilities. There's a sense of new evolution, growth. And so we spend a lot of time celebrating new beginnings. And we don't often spend that much time honoring the endings, honoring the places that we have come from. We're uncomfortable with endings. Why? Because associated with every ending, even when we're moving to something that we're excited about, associated with every ending is the sense of loss. And associated with every loss is a sense of grief. And grief represents pain and suffering and discomfort and dis-ease. And so we don't want anything to do with that feeling. And so we suppress it. We suppress it. So whether or not we have new beginnings that have been something we welcomed, and we have, moved seamlessly to a new job from unemployment perhaps, or to a new job from an old job, there is still a sense of loss that we don't acknowledge. And then we add to that the losses that we have that we expect to have some grief around. For example, we may have lost a pet or a parent, or we might have, as children, lost friends when our families moved. We may lose a job. We may have our families upended due to illness or divorce or separation. And all of these changes result in a sense of loss and a sense of grief. And so as time goes on, we build up this reservoir of grief. It's almost like a dam, like Pandora's box, perhaps, of grief that we suppress and depress, that we aren't allowed to express. How many times as children, when you were feeling grief of some kind, some sort of upset, how many times were you perhaps told, "I'll give you something to cry about. This is nothing." But of course, as children, we don't know what nothing is. If we're feeling grief, we're feeling grief. But we are taught that we shouldn't express our grief. And so what happens is we have this reservoir of unresolved grief. And when something happens, a change happens, it's like opening Pandora's box. And we end up experiencing not just the grief of the current loss, but also the grief that is in the Pandora's box, all the leftover, undealt with grief. And so often we might find ourselves feeling really upset about something that on its surface doesn't appear to be that important. It's almost as if we over-grieve for some things. It seems inconsistent. Our upset can seem inconsistent with our loss. The reason that we have all of this unresolved grief, as I mentioned, is because it hurts so much to experience grief, doesn't it? We are so uncomfortable with grief. When we see someone else upset, we are uncomfortable. When we find ourselves upset, we are uncomfortable. We often will cry at something and then apologize for crying. And yet we never apologize for laughing. The invitation that I have for you today is to experience the entire range of human emotion and be with it all, the laughter and the tears. But because it hurts so much and because it feels so scary to grieve, we have become very successful at denying our grief. We do it in a few different ways. The first is to become busy, to distract. We find things that keep us occupied, keep our minds occupied. And to some extent, that is a wise thing to do when things just feel like they're overwhelming. But when we become so occupied that we never allow ourselves to experience grief, that's when that Pandora's box becomes more and more full. Busy, busy, busy. When we moved here from Saskatoon to Vancouver, my husband and I, at the time I used to work for Imperial Oil, we were busy, busy, busy. And we were adults, so we kind of knew what that looked like, and we knew some of the grieving process. But I'm not sure that we honored the experience of our son, who was leaving his school and his best friends, and we were throwing him into a brand new situation. And we were busy, busy, busy. So were we there to encourage him to express what he was feeling? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It is something I wonder about to this day. And I will wager, though, that I am not the only one, as a parent, who has done that with their children, who has basically just forged them along and forced them to come along with us without experiencing some of that emotion. So, busy, busy, busy. That's one way we deny. Another way we deny is our own self-talk. Our own self-talk that says things like, suck it up. Get over it. It's time to get over it. It's not that bad. Or we might say things like, have a stiff upper lip. Others have it worse than you. Self-talk. Self-talk that doesn't honor our experience right in the moment. Addiction is another way that we deny our experience. We distract ourselves with retail therapy or overeating or alcohol or drugs or gambling. All ways so that we don't have to look into Pandora's box and experience those uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes we get really angry and we displace the emotion of grief with the emotion of anger. And we become angry at the world, angry at God, angry at everything. Because it's easier than crying. So, consider how you have denied your own grief. And consider what a tragic strategy that denial might look like. That self-talk. That busy, busy, busy distraction, that addiction. That anger, emotional upset. And consider if there might not be a better way. What would be a better way? Here are a few ideas. The first is to partake of a ritual, create a ritual. At Unity we have a burning bowl ceremony every year. But it's something that you can do any time. The idea of writing a letter to a loved one and mailing it or not mailing it, or writing something down and then allowing it to blow away. I've heard of people actually blowing up balloons, putting the message inside and then letting it go. Whatever it might be. The idea is to get the feelings out from your body and into consciousness, into our conscious awareness. You might consider paying forward the things that you wish you had done with the person that has now left, or the situation that has now become impossible for you to participate in. You might consider paying it forward and doing that with someone else or something else. And perhaps the most important thing that you can do to honor your process in grief is to lament. It is to give yourself permission to cry, to kick, to scream, to wail. When Jesus found out that his best friend Lazarus had died, we are told that he wept. He wept. When last did you weep? If you find it difficult to do so, consider putting a funny movie on and then laughing until you cry. Get into the shower and cry. Listen to music that you loved with the person that you are in relationship with. Go for a walk in the woods, or find a place that you both enjoyed and be there. It is all part of facing our grief. You may consider not lamenting so much as just remembering. So go through old photographs. Tell your friends or your family about your experiences with this person. All of these ideas are ways to bring our grief to light. And the reason we do that is because the more we do that, the more able we are to move forward through the void. And that is the goal. The goal is to honor our experience and to honor the ending. And you may say, well, how long? How long should I be doing that for? How long should I talk about this person who is no longer in my life, or this experience that created a void in my life for a while? And the answer is, as long as it takes. Because what may take me a few short months may take you a few short years. But what is true is that as long as you're moving forward, when you are able to see a new beginning, a new light, it's not as if your memory of the other, of the past, has gone away. It's not as if the grieving will ever stop, because actually it doesn't. But it becomes less raw, and it becomes more appreciative. And so the grief itself transforms into something that is more of a fond memory. It becomes more integrated into who you are, and that helps you to move to a new and fresh beginning. As Brumet says, I often counsel people to honor endings without worshipping them. Our goal is not to do this in a way that hurts us and kind of keeps us stuck. The idea of grief is to move, to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, not camp there. And so, the more we are able to get in touch with what we're feeling, the more we are able to integrate that into a place of appreciation, a place of fondness. So my question to you is, what would you be like if you could accept endings as part of the greater experience and process of life? What if you could embrace your human emotion, both the positive and the negative, knowing that every ending offers the possibility of a new beginning? And as we honor the endings, we shed the grief. We transform the grief. We move to new appreciation. And we look forward to a new beginning. Endings are necessary because it is from endings that new beginnings emerge. I bless you.
I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, in these moments I am given, in situations called to me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, in these moments I am given. These moments I am given. In situations called to me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, these moments I am given, in situations called to me, I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. me life. I do what gives me life. These moments I'm given in situations called. I now choose this path of living. I now choose what sets me free. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. Hey, I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life. I do what gives me life.
On Wednesdays at 11, we meet virtually on Zoom for a time of prayer and meditation. During that time, we check in with each other, and then we are led in a guided meditation during which we hold the people on our prayer list in prayer. So I invite you to join us for this time. It is a time which is both uplifting and connecting. No previous experience is required. You don't need to speak if you aren't comfortable speaking. And I invite you to join us because it really is a wonderful way of resetting and re-energizing ourselves every week. If you would like your name or the name of somebody you care about to be added to the prayer list, then please email us at unityofnewwestminster@gmail.com. Also, if you would like one-on-one prayer, which is private and confidential, then also please email us and we will arrange for Gladys Swedak, our prayer chaplain, to get in touch with you. Thursdays at 11, our prayer service every week. Please join us.
Hello, friends. My name is Aaron Johannes. I'm currently the president of the board of Unity of New Westminster Church. On behalf of all of us on the board, I want to say thanks for your support. This is going to end with a request for money, just so you don't get lulled into making decisions here. We want to thank you for the donations that allow us to focus on continuing the good work of our congregation within our group and within the community. Rather than having to scramble for money to keep going, we're really been able to focus on what we're doing. And also for the positive feedback that comes in through your emails and messages. Jerry was pointing this out the other day, and it's a really good thing to remember. And thank you. And I think thank you for helping support our minister through these difficult times, which she makes look so gracious. Most of us see our Sunday service, and we're so grateful for Rhona's presence and her leadership, and that's really just part of the story at Unity. And behind the scenes, we've got Jerry Blackwell and Alexandra Gale supporting our board, and Rhona and our volunteers. And we've got different people taking different interesting roles, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. We've been able not just to sustain our work, but to grow it in interesting ways. And right now we have a few projects going. We've actually got probably about 6 or 7 big things happening, but I'll tell you just about 3 of them. There's let's see. One is called a social ministry. So rethinking the idea of church as something that doesn't just happen one day a week in one building, but is all around us and full of opportunities, communicated through social media. So do watch for us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, and follow our accounts and share our posts, and feel free to comment and start conversations, and feel free to say things during the service. Rhona can't hear us. We haven't been able to get together physically for so long, but we sure look forward to seeing your faces and your names on Zoom, YouTube Live, and Facebook. You will be interested to know that our congregation of 50 or so regular members has on some weeks expanded to 400 or 500 people around the world. And we've made new friends in places like Italy, England, South Africa, the United States, and also Prince Edward Island, which is sort of like a little country. And our message of learning about how to live better lives together through spiritual principles is being heard in different places all around the world. So it's a very cool opportunity. Another project we're doing has to do with doing some board training with Martha Creek, who's been a guest speaker a couple of times. We've been lucky enough to start working with her over a sustained period of months. And at the end of this, we're hoping to have a couple of events to share what we've learned. So we'll keep you posted about that. A result that we're looking for is that we're hoping that it'll be easier to become involved in our church and in different roles, including that of being board members. Right now, you might be interested to know that we had more people stand to be board members than we even needed. And so usually it's a bit of, I'm trying to think of a non-war related term, but it's usually a bit of a problem to find board members. And this time we had so many people who wanted to be involved. So that was really exciting. If you want to be more involved in any way, contact Rhona or Jerry or myself, and we'll try to help you through. The third project is really exciting, and you'll be happy to hear about it, and that's reopening our church. As people get vaccinated and our quarantine conditions get addressed, probably by late autumn at the latest. So we're getting ready to think about what we've learned over the last year and what we want to keep and what we want to do next. And so we'll keep you informed of all those steps. We have a really great document from our Unitarian friends that Rhona found about what to think about as we make these steps so that we can all be safe together and to be together in person. So if you'd like us to send you a copy of the document that we're kind of going with, please let us know. Our church building is still here, and this is where the money part comes in. And part of the work of the last year has been making sure that we maintain everything. So although we haven't had people coming in and out, and we haven't had the rental income that we usually have, we've still got the building, and it's our responsibility for future generations, really, to take care of it and make sure that things are safe and okay. So our fridge stopped working recently after doing great service for years and years through all of those potlucks and all of those meals. So we had the gift of a donation from Hilda to buy a new one, which Rhona, as a smart shopper, turned into a kitchen upgrade for a new dishwasher, stove, and fridge. So now we're going to be set for like the next 10 years or so. And this is going to help us prepare for our favorite activities like snacks after services when we're together, and also potlucks, if you can imagine that. I always think back to one of our last pre-pandemic conversations, which was how many potlucks is too much, and we couldn't quite agree. Now I think I want them every week once we're back together. Hilda has been such an important part of our congregation. She was one of the first people to welcome my family when we arrived, and weren't sure where to sit and what to sing and what to say. And she was just lovely every week, and we appreciated her so much. And you'll be glad to know that we've been staying in touch with her as she's moved into a different circumstance. Rhona took this picture during a recent visit, and we really appreciated this example, this latest example of her generosity, which has really gone on for decades. So thank you, Hilda, for that. However, the implications of our new plumbing, of our new dishwasher, etc., on our new plumbing, on our old plumbing, became evident as we got ready to install everything. And just to be clear, it wasn't me installing everything, because that would have cost more and been a disaster. And we realized we needed to upgrade some pipes and lines and some other parts for safety, and to make sure the little kids who were in our rented preschool space downstairs don't get burned by the hot water, but we still have enough hot water coming up to our kitchen so that we can actually wash the dishes and get them clean. And that's important, particularly important these days, right? The estimate for this is another $1,200. So we're asking for donations beyond what you're giving already each week. And thank you for doing what you're doing. And don't stress out if you can't do more. We're living in abundance. That's the big lesson, and it's a thing that Gisela has helped us learn. And it's a hard one when you're on the board and you have to be responsible for the money, but you also have to hold space for abundance. So if you've got $1,200 extra that you're wondering what to do with, that would be great, and we'll write you a tax receipt. Or perhaps 12 of us could contribute $100 each, or 6 of us could send in $200. Let's see. If you do want to contribute, you just get a hold of Jerry and make arrangements to make a targeted donation. Just mention that it's for the church upgrade, the church plumbing upgrade, or say that it's to support our future potlucks, and he'll understand. And there will be a slide later on instructions on how to donate. I just feel moved to thank Penny. Hilda is one of the people that we're keeping track of, and we're so grateful for Jerry and Sharon doing a lot of that work. But Penny, on a pretty much weekly basis, keeps track of everyone and how they're doing, and sends cards and sends reminders, and handles the prayer each week. So really, thank you all, and thank everyone who is part of our community. And thanks for the opportunity to talk. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Aaron. We are indeed blessed with the generosity of this community. I invite you now to hold in your heart and in your mind anything that you feel grateful for, whether it is a gift for our community or something that you just know within is something that means a lot to you and that you consider yourself grateful for. And as we sing our blessing song, allow that feeling of appreciation to expand. Our blessing song.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So we come to the end of another service for another week. If you are watching us live, please join us on Zoom for a time of connecting and fellowship. We check in with each other, we see each other's faces, we hear each other's voices, and we look forward to the time that we can be together again in person. I hope you enjoyed your experience with us today, and I wish you a very blessed week. Goodbye, everybody.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light